Hi everyone, it's Peter Schiff and it is Tuesday, June 1st, 2010. And I wanted to dedicate this video blog to the controversy surrounding Goldline, Glenn Beck, and Congressman Weiner from New York. As you may or may not have known, Congressman Weiner has been on television regarding an investigation that he did of the sales practices of Goldline and its ties to conservative talk show hosts such as Glenn Beck, who's certainly the most notable. His allegation is that Glenn Beck and others are drumming up fear, trying to scare people into buying gold and then steering them to buy their gold through Goldline, which rips off their customers by overcharging them for their coins. Now, I believe, part of Weiner's charges are in fact correct, and that is the part regarding Goldline overcharging their customers. I did some research on my own, and there is no question in my mind that Weiner is correct, that Goldline is in fact ripping off their customers. They are charging them much too much for the coins that they're selling. My cousin called up Goldline, interested in buying some gold, and he was initially interested in Canadian maple leafs, and the salesman was very insistent that my cousin not buy the maple leaf, but they instead buy these 20-franc French roosters. The salesman claimed that these were Goldline's top-selling coins, that this is what he was recommending that my cousin buy, and he gave him a number of reasons that he should buy them. Most of them, I believe, were not necessarily true, but they're open to interpretation. But in any event, I decided to take a look at these coins. Now, the Goldline representative was selling these rooster coins on that day for $402 per coin. Now, the actual metal value of the coin is about $225. Now, of course, a rare numismatic coin normally will sell for a substantial premium to its melt value. The problem is these are not rare numismatic coins. These are common date coins. They are circulated coins. They don't have much numismatic value whatsoever. What I can judge by calling around is these coins generally have about a 5% premium over what you might pay for a Canadian maple leaf or a Cougaran. That's it. Very minimal, if any, numismatic value. Now, they were selling them at $402 a piece. We checked around, and other reputable dealers were selling the identical coins at the same point in time for $250 a piece. Now, that is a huge difference. $250 versus $402. I mean, somebody buying these coins from one of Goldline's competitors and paying $250, when that guy is ahead 60% on his investment, the Goldline customer is finally broken even. I mean, how can that be an investment? Now, when you look at the money that Goldline is making on these coins, they claim that they only have a 35% markup. And of course, only is in quotes, because even 35% were that their markup would be horrific. But it's actually much worse. See, 35% is the difference between their offer price, which is $402, and their bid price, which was $260. Right? What you need to be concerned about as a Goldline customer is how much that $260 has to go up before the bid, right, is equal to the $402 price that you pay, and that is 54%. Which means if you buy a gold coin from Gold Corp, you need it to increase in value by 54% to sell it and get your money back, not to make any money, just to break even. 54%. That is a huge hurdle to have to jump over to make a return on an investment, especially when you can buy the same coin other places for far less money than that. But Goldline's actual markup, it's even worse. It's 67.5%. I called up the wholesalers and found out what I could buy those coins for as a wholesaler, and it was $240 a piece. And that's where Goldline is getting most of its gold, and it probably gets an even better price because it probably buys in bulk. After all, that's their top-selling coin. And it's their top-selling coin not because their customers want it, but because the salesmen want to sell it because they make a lot of money getting people to buy those coins. And so they're buying them at $240, marking them up to $402, making 67.5%. Basically, if somebody wants to buy $10,000 worth of gold from Goldline, they're going to pay $6,750 commission on top of that $10,000. Whereas they can go to any one of a number of their competitors and buy $10,000 worth of gold and pay no more than $200 or $300 a commission. And, now, is what they're doing illegal? Well, it's not illegal to overcharge. I mean, it's a free market. You can charge whatever you want if people are foolish enough to pay that price. Now, what would be illegal would be if they were using fraud to deceptively convince people to overpay for coins. I don't know if they're doing that or not. I think Congressman Meaner has alleged that. I don't have enough information to figure out if fraud is going on, but if there is fraud, then it is illegal and they should be prosecuted. Now, if people are just overpaying, well, why are they overpaying? Well, I think they're overpaying because they don't know any better, because they think people like Glenn Beck and others have already checked these companies out. After all, if Glenn Beck is saying buy your gold at Goldline, then people are assuming that it's a fair price. They don't realize how much they're overpaying. They should be shopping around, but they're not, because all these high-profile people are recommending the company. Now, many people have rushed to their defense by saying, well, look, there's not a lot of lawsuits. How bad could they be if they're not getting sued? Well, we don't know how many complaints have been settled without lawsuits. Certainly, in a rising market, in a gold bull market, there's not as many complaints. And if the complaints have come up, they can get settled. But you get a lot more complaints when the market turns down. Or what if, Goldline goes out of business? The real bid on these coins on the street is not the 260 that Goldline had. It's more like 230. So if you buy one of these coins from Goldline and have to sell it to one of their competitors, you really need a 75% increase in the value of this coin just to break even. 75%. That's insane. Now, it's one thing if Goldline was a shoe store and they're selling shoes. People, it's okay if you go to a department store and buy a pair of shoes for $400 that you can buy at a discounter for $250. Because no one's buying shoes as an investment. But when people are buying gold from Goldline, they think they're making an investment. And if you think you're making an investment, you're not going to pay $400 for $250 worth of coins. And what I'm afraid is going to happen is that Congressman Meaner is going to use this high-profile case of a firm that is, in my opinion, ripping off its customers, and use this as an excuse for more regulation. We don't need more regulation on the coin industry. We need, if they're committing fraud, then prosecute them. If they're just overcharging, then let the free market handle it. Let other firms come up and advertise like mine. I am opening up a company, Euro-Pacific Precious Metals. My company will be up in about 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I have been selling gold through the Perth Mint, not for physical delivery, for storage at the Perth Mint. I've been marking up my gold 2%. That's it. So somebody buys $10,000 worth of gold from me, my profit is $200, not $6,750 like Gold Corp is charging, only $200. And I might be selling these 20 French roosters for people who want to buy them. And I'll probably be selling them for even less than the $250, a coin that I found most of their competitors. Now, of course, some of Goldline's defenders had said, well, Goldline is not, there are companies that are charging even more than Goldline. Well, maybe there are, but that doesn't excuse Goldline. And it doesn't excuse the fact that they're able to sell a lot more because they have the endorsements of so many high-profile people. What we need is the free market to purge the marketplace of this type of practices. And I don't even know, how somebody, in good conscience, how you can, have one of your customers, mark up a coin by 67.5%. I don't know how they sleep. It doesn't make any sense. Normally you would have some kind of ethics, some kind of, conscience involved. But maybe they don't. But enough people do. And so if I start selling these coins and I'm only marking them up 3%, and there are other reputable dealers out there, I'm not going to be the only one. But that's what we need. We need free market competition. But what's going to happen is if they're able to use this as an excuse for more regulation on the gold industry, then it's going to increase the costs for the reputable dealers. They're going to have to pass it on for their customers. And so instead of charging $250, they might be charging $260 or $270 or $280. Who knows how much complying with all the new rules and regulations is going to cost gold dealers and gold consumers. And of course, the charge that Glenn Beck is just scaring people into buying gold, Glenn Beck obviously believes that people should buy gold. So do I. It is scary. Paper money is being debased. People need to buy gold. They need to buy it as an inflation hedge. But what they don't need to do is buy it from Goldline. If they buy it there, they're overpaying. They need to find out a legitimate dealer and pay a fair price for their gold. Don't overpay by buying it at Goldline. Anyway, that's it for today, everybody. Take care.